y'all happen to know what night it is? And shame on me for totally blanking on it after the Xfinity race earlier. You know what night it is? It's SRX Night in America. Are you ready? It's SRX Night in America. You know what night it is? My voice. Ew. Turn it off. Turn it off. I feel dumb because I was like, alright, see you guys tomorrow for the cup race. And then, as I was laying on the bed about to take a fucking nap, I was like, wait a minute. SRX is coming on. I didn't remember SRX till about 35 minutes ago. So, we're lucky we're here. I'm just not in the habit of remembering when SRX comes on as much as I enjoyed last week. Hello again, Lori. I was just mentioning how I completely blanked on SRX until about 35 minutes ago. Then I was like, oh shit, SRX. And Haley Deegan's racing. Well, we've just got to watch. Ernie Francis is in this race? How many cars are in this race? Hold up. Just the 12? Okay. For some reason I thought there'd be more than 12. Whatever, it's SRX, Knoxville, it's a dirt race. Next two SRX races are dirt races, which is out of my wheelhouse, but we're going to enjoy it anyway. Thank God I didn't fall asleep earlier, which would have been really dumb because I would have woke up at like midnight and been up all damn night. So, yeah. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be off work Monday. The weather forecast is not like promising for Lake James where I have to go paint outside. Can't paint outside if it's wet. So, bonus race. I'm not going to stream the IndyCar race tomorrow, so don't look out for that. But SRX, yes. IndyCar, I'm just going to watch for me. And check on old Jimmy Jam, who had a good run in practice today, apparently. Knoxville, the trucks will be racing here soon. But it's time to go dirt racing.
Racing on CBS. This time we're joining you from the famed Knoxville Raceway in the heart of the Midwest, just outside of Des Moines, Iowa.
What a crowd. It's a great day for crowds at races.
To turn to Sean McManus, chairman of CBS Sports, and his daughter Maggie with a command to start engine. Sean,
Hell yeah, we going right in. We ain't fucking around. No pre-race bullshit. We're firing engines at 8 o'clock, ready to roll. There's Haley Deegan. Heard SRX is going to look at putting roof numbers on the cars, thank God. They haven't done that yet, but that'll be a welcome addition. And the sweet, sweet sounds of Alan Bestwick. So hot, we put Lindsay Zarniak. Lindsay Zarniak's pretty. She's too plain. Listen to me judging women. How dare you? I'm going to get canceled again. Ooh, they did put roof numbers on the cars today. Wow, I didn't think they'd have them ready today. Good. We have roof numbers, guys. Looks like Tony Stewart and Marco Andretti are the front row. Danica Patrick. Okay, look, I hate Danica, but I like her hair. Danica's looking good.
What's racing on dirt like? Well,
where can you watch it live? It's on CBS, dude. You should be able to find CBS somewhere. It's on a local cable channel. I'm sorry I can't show it, but it's on CBS.
Fresh snow, essentially, fresh dirt to
such an edge to get your right rear into for grip. But
Somebody get this man a live link.
So I'm no pro at it, but I know that rubber gets laid down eventually.
I don't know what app you could watch it on, dude. I really don't. Just Google it. There's got to be a way to watch CBS online for free because it's a free channel. It's got to be out there somewhere. Random draw, and the guy who runs the series is on the front row. I still think they should have qualifying as well.
He's a four-time champion here at Knoxville Raceway. Haley Deegan subbing for Tony Kanaan this week.
Well, you talk about having both ends of the spectrum. We got Haley Deegan and Bill Elliott in this race.
Still with that big smile even after his first practice laps on the dirt. He said, I love it. Paul Tracy in the last row, and the winner tonight, Scott Bloomquist, 600-time winner in dirt late model.
Scott Bloomquist is here. That's a heavy hitter.
On board is going to give us our first.
But I don't see Greg Biffle's name. This is bullshit. I don't want to watch anymore. Greg Biffle's not in this race.
This is Danica. Paul, can you hear me?
I really wish Greg Biffle was here.
Hey, what kind of shoes you got on?
I love that's what you're thinking about. They're
I'm thinking about her pretty head. Danica looks hot tonight.
Nobody can see my
I hate Danica.
So, hey,
She looks pretty good today.
Open wheel, pavement. What is the hardest thing about racing on dirt?
Well, the only thing I can equate this to is I've never driven on dirt, but it's like racing in the
So do you think this is the day Tony Stewart's going to get the first win for him in the SRX? I do. It's dirt. And we're hearing Paul Tracy talk about how he's never raced dirt before in his life till today. So I think the smoke has a good shot. But yeah, Scott Bloomquist is here. Good God, even Haley Deegan has more dirt experience than Paul Tracy.
We got someone great to follow. Good luck.
Haley Deegan, a dirt winner in NASCAR.
All right, Paul, get ready to go. Now, the rules for tonight, we've tweaked things up a little bit. The series
Man, last week my pick was Biffle, so of course he finished second. Tonight I'm going smoke. I'm going Tony Stewart, just because it's dirt.
of the first, then inverted for the start of the second, then the average finish of the two races will determine how you start in the main event. It'll be a 50-lap main event tonight. Cautions do not count. And the colors on the cars,
50-lap main tonight. I
the
like
drivers
it.
will remain in the same color car for each of our 6 races. This
Last week the broadcast went way over,
embedded in our on-screen graphics atop.
but it was their first show. So
We added more colors. The drivers' names are bigger on the side of the cars.
you got to get you one of them digital cable converter box thingies. You get CBS for free.
On the side of the car, we might as well use it. More color, more.
Ooh, I love Haley Deegan's car. I love that car. Bright fucking pink. Look at that.
The most storied, famous dirt tracks in all the world.
They're going green next time. SRX feels like it's not even real. I feel like I've been watching, like I'm having an out-of-body experience when I watch these races. It's like some weird fever dream that, wow, this series actually exists.
This afternoon, now they want to see the superstars do it on the dirt. Here we go. Green flag for heat race.
Green flag. Heat race 1. See how Andretti hand. Has Andretti ever raced dirt before? Excuse me. Whoa, we got a car getting up on the curb back there. Who was that?
The cars pick up that berm.
Andretti got really loose in 4. Tony Stewart takes the lead. Haley Deegan's going for second.
It's
Well, that'd be
funny,
badass if she
drivers that
won.
race on dirt talk to you even in pavement racing. Tony
She's going to be back here for the truck race
over the years, they use
in
such
less than a
different
month. I think the
terminology.
truck series
Then
comes to
you get in the
Knoxville.
mud. I think that's what Tony would say getting down to the bottom. Get in the mud.
Marco Andretti, that was at the
Come on, SRX. Stop with the full screen replays. I like you.
So into second place around Andretti after he wrestled his car is Haley Deegan, the 19-year-old from California, daughter of Brian Deegan, the X Games star, and she's in the
Bill Elliott was the one that hit the curb on the bottom. Was this like Dirt Martinsville?
car in that race for 4th place. And head downstairs to the pit lane in Knoxville and introduce Big Brad Daugherty. Thanks, AB. We're talking
Oh, Bill Elliott. He tried to force the nose in there on Brian Brown. Got way more sideways than you want to be.
Jeff Hammond. We've also got Todd Parrott. Absolutely outstanding pedigree. But the guy is Guy Forbrook. Guy is a local legend here. He has over 87 wins at this racetrack, 11 track championships.
You can't spill dirt without Deegan.
Sports legend. It didn't matter if it was on 2 or 4 wheels. He
Hey, she's technically a superstar of racing.
in car control.
She's got more talent than that other bitch that's up in the booth right now.
K&N car, but she missed practice on Friday night due to her truck series schedule. She got about 5 laps about an hour ago. And
So
she
Tony
had
Stewart and Haley Deegan have driven away. Ernie Francis 2 seconds back. Andretti hanging on in 4th.
And he gave her about 3 things to follow, and right now it's paying off. And she's following him and making it exciting.
Bill Elliott having a better night tonight. And Haley Deegan's running Tony Stewart down for this lead.
Tony in the orange car, Deegan.
This is a battle I never thought I'd see. Tony Stewart and Haley Deegan on the same racetrack.
There's Brian Brown. The
Look, Haley Deegan, you need to impress Tony Stewart so you can get that cup ride in a few years.
Tracy, who moved up to 11th on the grid. And remember, your starting order
Haley Deegan will replace Kevin Harvick one day. Calling it now. 5 years from now, she'll replace Kevin Harvick.
start the main event. So Paul's got a lot to gain by going full.
Mark that down.
He's
June 19th, 2021 on my live stream. I said Haley Deegan will get Harvick's ride in 5 years.
Brian Brown, who, you'd think would be pushing his way through. They're stacked up behind him.
A lot like last week. This is kind of, they're racing for position, but it's kind of an extra practice session. I don't expect the intensity to pick up until the main. Towards the end of the second heat race, maybe. Boy, Bill Elliott. Bill Elliott's taking these shallow lines in the corner and getting himself into a lot of trouble. Paul Tracy just passed him on the outside.
Right now, so I say go for it. All these things are good points, and it's tough to pass.
Tracy is
I love the way these cars look on the dirt.
continues to stalk Stewart for the lead. Brian Brown,
Excuse me.
Last week where Doug Colby was driving at a track where he had so many laps on in a car that he wasn't as familiar with. This car might as well be from another planet for Brian Brown compared
So,
to the sprint car that he runs.
We've had one full race, and we're into this heat race for the second race. And I can already say that Willie T. Ribbs is the worst driver in this series. He's always running dead last.
I think people don't understand
Woo.
just how much is going
Paul Tracy, hang on.
cockpit. With every turn of the hands, there's something going on with the
It's a good thing he didn't miss the practice.
They're trying to find the grip. They're trying to not overdrive.
Haley
the tire.
Deegan pulling up on Tony Stewart again.
It's quite an orchestra.
Stewart's running high, she's running low, right around the curb.
I'd be overwhelmed.
Sounds complicated, yes.
Haley Deegan might pass Tony Stewart on a dirt track.
For the lead in this first of the 2 heat races, Tony gonna move up the track. Deegan gonna look down low. Nothing doing there off turn 2. Pretty impressive to jump in a car, get 5 laps. at
Pretty
the-
impressive how this broadcast literally went right into the race. It was kind of jarring,
Dirt experience. Haley does too. Haley
but I
does
like it.
dirt. She slid cars around quite a bit, but there's not quite like.
Hey Danica, Haley Deegan is what you wish you could have been.
Tony's running that higher line. He's trying to make her go the long way around, and that's a smart thing to do. Another thing that happens up on the top is that you keep momentum up. So you can see that when you come off the corner, off of 2 and off of 4, there's a little bit of a pulls her just a little bit down the straightaways. She's taking the shorter line in the corners, but he has momentum coming off.
Drivers on the dirt track.
What happened so far is that Tony Stewart's led, Haley Deegan's second, and she's running down. Tony's running high, she's running low.
Driver behind the wheel.
He's getting these runs off the corner so she can't get next to him.
That's just that ever slightest.
Ernie Francis is in 3rd place. He's slowly catching them, but it's a 2-car race for this first heat.
And sometimes that's on the very top.
Well, she's drawing closer every lap, though. She's got something going on now. In a couple laps, she'll be able to get to his quarter panel. I love her car. I want a Haley Deegan SRX diecast, goddammit. Lionel, where are you?
Not this time.
Not this time.
No, just a little too slick, just a little bit there
You
off the
can
line.
see she's using up her right rear for sure.
Danica so far in her booth performance in SRX has been inoffensive. I thought she was okay last week. I just don't like her, so she's always going to get on my nerves.
All right, Stewart and Deegan racing for the lead. And SRX Series race number 2 tonight from the sprint car capital of the world, Knoxville, Iowa.
How are the trucks going to race here? There's no safer barriers.
Camping World is here to fuel your outdoor adventures.
She didn't outrun her replacement. Eric Almirola won a race. Are you talking about Almirola? Because, I mean, hell, at least he's actually won a race. 5 minutes to go in the first heat. Average finish between the two heats is how they'll line up for the main, and the main is 50 laps this week. Probably a better decision to make it a little shorter. I hope 50 laps doesn't feel too short, but it's probably better to make it a little shorter. Here comes Ernie Francis. Oh, we got a caution. We have a caution. Don't know what happened yet. Caution with 4:26 left in the heat. Well, what's the caution for? It's how loud she is while she's saying the wrong things. Well, that's just because that's what women do. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't cancel me. I'm sorry. I have a sense of humor. I laugh at Tony Danza. I laugh at Tony Danza. I got a sense of humor. I laugh at Tony Danza. That's one of my favorite episodes of King of the Hill. The paintball episode. Come on, Bobby. Let's go to the fun center. Fun center, fun center, fun center, fun center, fun center. Still don't know what the fucking caution's for. One of the reasons I almost forgot about this race tonight is that you guys know I've been battling a cold all week, and I just didn't feel like streaming and talking anymore today. So I was like, yay, see you tomorrow for the Cup race. Whoops, SRX. That boy ain't right. So the caution is for Paul Tracy. Yikes. Smacked that guardrail pretty good. And then the second time, something must have come off that car.
He could have just got that right rear hot. I mean, that's, you know, this is one of those things.
Nah, Paul Tracy busted his ass twice.
Another thing that's
And I think some
interesting
debris
about
came off that car.
that, you know, when you lift, you don't always
I mean,
slow
he
down
busted his
or
ass pretty good, but his
left.
car looks fine, so I really don't even know what the caution's for. I didn't see anything on the track, but they were out there looking around.
I'm speaking from experience.
No, I don't think we'll need a fun flag tonight. There's only a 50-lap feature tonight.
In your brief experience racing dirt at Eldora and the Boston charity race, yeah.
That's right.
All right, so we're getting ready to go.
LOL, Danica on dirt.
This heat race number 1, Stewart on inside, Deegan.
Stewart, Deegan front row. 2 minutes left in the heat. Remember, at the end of the 2 minutes, they'll wave the white flag, and that'll end the heat race after that last lap. Stewart on the bottom.
Marco's looking all right on these restarts. I wonder if the car starts off being strong and then maybe
Andretti on the outside of Haley Deegan.
gets too loose on him, but at the beginning of the race he was pretty good, and here he is passing Haley for second. So we'll see.
And Andretti passes Haley Deegan on the outside.
Guys in the field that has basically no experience racing dirt other than jumping in
Haley Deegan, long run car.
midget type
Marco Andretti, short run car.
terminology. Getting a few laps on a racetrack in Pennsylvania, that's it. Till they got here last
I'd like to think they got so much negative feedback about the fun flag last week, they won't do that again. So they shortened the heats and shortened the main this week, which was the right decision.
It's just when it doesn't do exactly the side.
Dude, you think boomers are creepy with Deegan? You should go read the shit they say about Natalie Decker. Oh my God.
Goes out the window.
We have a thing in the NASCAR shit posting Facebook group where all we do is post screenshots of creepy comments on Natalie Decker Instagram and Facebook posts.
It's Ernie Francis in the yellow car third, then Paul Tracy all the way from 11th up to 5th, despite those 2 times bouncing
Ooh.
off the guardrail. There's a little jam up in 2. Andretti slipped, and the traffic lunged up.
Andretti slowed up in front of Deegan, and Francis got to the back bumper of her.
I think as you see Paul get free of Brown finally, he's in 5th now. I think he's gonna make a run here at 4th. And
Dude, if I was a woman like Decker or Deegan, I would intentionally crop my foot out of every photo I take.
he was really
Oh, look at this. Andretti's going for the lead. I pulled a Jeff Gordon. Look at this. Andretti's going to take the lead.
Andretti
Remember that 3-wide dive bomb move he made on Biffle last week? He's making a run at Tony Stewart. He got next to him. Tony clears him. White flag. Last lap of the heat. This is unexpected. I didn't think Andretti would come on the strong at the end of this, but Tony Stewart's got something in that middle line off the corner. That's how he held off Deegan, and that's how he's holding off Andretti. Andretti gets close on entry. It almost looks like Allgaier in the Xfinity race today. And Tony Stewart wins the first heat. Oh, Mikey got spun off of 4. Didn't hit anything. Nah, Mikey's fine. He didn't hit anything. Got spun out. He chopped across Brian Brown. That was kind of 2 drivers just going for the same spot. More Mikey coming down than anything. No harm, no foul. Clean the grill off. Get ready for the second heat.
23 laps in. Tony Stewart started on pole.
So far, the action's been all up front. It's Tony Stewart, Marco Andretti, and Haley Deegan look really good. Paul Tracy hit the wall really hard, but wound up 5th at the end of that first heat. I think Scott Bloomquist, you got to think he's going to be a factor by the end of this, just with his experience on this track. But I picked Tony Stewart to win, and it looks that way so far. Excuse me. Although I think they're going to do a field inversion for the second heat. Don't they do that?
Number 1 pack.
It's all new to me, so I can't remember the rules. But I'm pretty sure they do a inversion here for the second heat. They did last week. So that would put old Willie T on the front row. And they made another good rule. Do you remember last week it was like, okay, wherever you finish in the second heat's where you line up for the main. Now it's average finish between the 2 heats, which is much better. Because I thought that first heat race last week was pretty fucking pointless. It might as well have just been an extra practice session. Hold on, look. Did Mikey? Yeah, Mikey's going to start on the front row. Okay, so he steals the front row away from Willie T. Big brain thinking there. Michael Waltrip spins himself on purpose. Damn. Excuse me, guys. I'm still sick. I'm like Arthur Morgan, I think. I got the tuberculosis. Well, that's one hell of a compliment to get compared to MRN. I try to have the race audio in the background from the broadcast. Not that it does much, but I'll try to paint a picture for you.
SRX series on CBS is sponsored by
Dirt racing is not in my wheelhouse, so I always feel weird when I'm trying to explain a dirt race. Because I admit I've had a very, I've just been a NASCAR guy my whole life. Like ovals and road courses. I'm not used to dirt. I've watched very few dirt races in my life, believe it or not. Hey, there's Bill Elliott.
Last dirt race I did was 1986 in Wichita, Kansas. I qualified second. Never been on the dirt in my life. It was the most fun I've ever had.
I love going to dirt races. I love
Booby La Booby.
not that good at it.
I have absolutely 0 laps on dirt. The last time I was on dirt, I got my Jeep.
I wish I wasn't so sick and coughing so much.
Was with BMX when I was probably 11 years old.
Got a little bit in the dirt. Grew up riding dirt bikes.
Well, Elio Castroneves always looks so happy, but if I'd just won the Indianapolis 500, I'd probably be happy. Especially if I'd won it 4 times.
It's gonna be fun to see which drivers adapt
adapt right away, and which drivers it takes a little longer.
It's a big challenge. He's going to take a lot of luck, I would say.
The second heat race with the inversion, I don't expect Tony Stewart and Hailie Deegan to stay in the back for long.
You know, the drivers at least have a sense of humor about the dirt racing. Welcome back to the Camping World SRX Series. We've wrapped Heat 1. Here's a look at the results. Again, Tony Stewart, the Heat 1 winner. Hailie Deegan, notable in third. She told me she had a 10-minute layover this morning.
I think Bill Elliott's in good shape. He finished 6th in the first heat. He'll start 6th in the second. That bodes well for the average finish. I've watched some Prelude to the Dreams. I've watched the Trucks race on dirt, and I watched the Cup Series race on dirt. I've seen an odd World of Outlaws race here and there throughout my life, but I'm not a dirt expert. I'm an asphalt oval expert. Just NASCAR guy. I've watched a lot of IndyCar stuff in my life, just not religiously like I do NASCAR. I actually set an alarm tomorrow, because I'm going to sleep late tomorrow, but I set an alarm to wake my ass up so I can watch IndyCar race. They're racing at Road America. Fuck. So I was thinking, and the off season's a long way away. Good God, it's not till November. Maybe every now and then during the off season we come on and live stream an old race, because I had fun during the break between the Open and the All-Star race last week. We watched the last segment of the 2002 Winston, and I had a lot of fun doing that. And then I immediately started thinking, man, I really like watching old races. And I've never really had a reason to. But maybe one of these days we'll stream an old race or something. Excuse me. I love road racing, like road course stuff. So, from a really young age of watching racing, I really embraced road courses, because all the boomers are always like, "Oh, what road courses?" But as a kid, I'm like, "Dude, road courses are cool as shit." And I remember asking my dad. I was like 8 years old. I'm like, "Why don't they race more?" Because I always liked watching Sonoma when I was little. Now we live in an era where they do race more. So, Heat 2. Mikey got spun out, ends up on the front row. Elio starting second.
So, congrats on the win in the first heat. Now, you had some people breathing down your neck. Were you in control of that pace, or were you feeling the pressure?
Well, Hailie for sure is, she knows how to do this. She won a K&N race at Vegas, so she knows how to run these heavy cars on dirt. Just trying to
Tony's been scouting Hailie Deegan.
take care of the tires here. Make sure we run 2 full heats on them and try to keep her from slipping it as much as possible. So now we get to do the hard work and come from the back here. So see if we can take care of it and get back up there again.
Copy that. Fun to watch. Good luck.
Is it awkward when Danica talks to Tony, because Tony's probably just so disappointed with her?
Since he won number 1.
Which will be fun to watch.
It will be a lot of fun to watch. Front row, Michael Waltrip and Willie T. Ribs, although some cars did pit under the brake. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we had some cars pit.
For heat number 2. Running the wall right away.
Mikey and Elio front row.
Saw that.
Who was it that hit the wall off of 4 here on the restart?
Paul Tracy to push it, though. Love watching it. It's fun to watch.
Damn, Mikey's sideways on a straightaway. Ilio's going to take the lead. Mikey was like sideways down the back and just completely missed turn 3. And now Elio Castroneves is leading on a dirt track. Bet you never thought you'd see that. Scott Bloomquist is second. Mikey settles into third, trying not to get run over.
Yeah, we heard him say in that piece a minute ago. Last time he raced anything on dirt was a bicycle when he was about 11 or 12 years old. He got here. Yeah, I know. He got here last night.
Boy, these streams are a struggle to get through this weekend.
And when he got out of it, I was standing right there, and he said, "That is so much fun."
So who hit the wall at the start? It was Paul Tracy again. God, he hit it pretty damn hard. I don't know how the right side is still on Paul Tracy's car. He's hit it so much.
He's gassing it up hard off turn 4.
It's them composite bodies. I don't know if they have composite bodies or not, but the right side of Paul Tracy's car is taking some abuse. Tony Stewart is really making some good moves. I hate that they cut away from it. He was passing Brian Brown and Paul Tracy around the outside off a 2.
As he tries to gain advantage for the main event. There's Stewart in the orange car.
Tony is making time in his specific line, unlike anybody else out here. But Haley Deegan's right there with him. That is remarkable. Haley Deegan keeping up with Tony Stewart. Yeah, I'd say Elio's got to be comfortable now after having run that first heat all the practice today. Now he's out front with nobody getting in his way. So it makes sense to me that a guy like Elio would be running good laps. Don't worry, the guy behind him's only won 600 fucking late model races or something like that, Scott Bloomquist. Bill Elliott's car's beat to shit.
It doesn't matter what's behind you. Well, it doesn't matter because he doesn't have a mirror anymore. A chunk of clay flew up and hit the backside of the mirror, shattered that mirror.
So a rock flew up in Bill Elliott's car and broke his rearview mirror. Tough scene.
I believe that was like Cannonball Run, maybe Gumball Rally. I forget, which has been a lot of years ago.
9-11 to go in the heat. Never forget.
In the field behind the front 3, Castroneves, Scott.
Whoever's doing what Tony Stewart's doing is going to win tonight.
Because Paul Tracy's in the 4th spot. Tony Stewart tried to pass him twice on the outside, and Tracy said no.
I think I saw him earlier shut the door on Brian Brown.
Paul Tracy's somehow still in front of Tony Stewart. Michael Waltrip was fastest last lap. The cool thing about this leaderboard on the screen there on the video, it'll light up the driver who just ran the fastest lap of the previous lap, and right now Michael Waltrip's really fast. God, Paul Tracy's blocking the fuck out of Tony Stewart. I wouldn't want to do that for very long. Tony's not a big fan of getting blocked. Look at Tracy slide that ass in front of Tony Stewart off of 4. Can we get Kyle Larson in one of these cars? All right, let's see this run off of 2 that Tony gets, and Tracy blocks again.
No, Tony Stewart tried to pass him on the outside. Here's how he said it.
That was Tony.
Yeah, that was Tony.
Tony won't forget.
I'd be trying to keep Tony Stewart behind me too.
One of the things in the lead up to all of this, to our Superstar Racing experience, we talked to different drivers. Tony Stewart said one of the great things about this series was he'd never been able to race something like Paul Tracy before. Well, you got it now.
This kind of racing would suit me. I love running the high line.
Against drivers that you've watched and been a fan of and cheered for and, you know, admired for their talent and their abilities, to be able to then go out and race head to head with them, it's just something cool to be able to do in your career.
And especially to come to place.
Anytime I've played a video game with dirt racing in it, it's really fun. Because it just feels so counterintuitive to me. You know, being an asphalt guy my whole life, I'm all about grip. I want the car to turn. It needs to have grip, 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 grip. And on dirt, it's like if you're not on the verge of spinning out, you're not going to be going fast. You literally have to be sideways.
Knoxville Nationals.
So Bernie Francis in the yellow car, Brian Brown, local
Woo!
hero.
beating
Never
and
raced
banging.
something with fenders on it before. Learning their
I
usefulness.
love when those open wheel guys
Fun to have fenders, I must
get
say.
fenders for the first time and they turn into assholes. C1 Pablo Montoya.
That was, when I first did my first stock car race, I remember it was down in Daytona, and I just was able to bump side by side.
Bloomquist is catching Elio. We still got 6 minutes left here.
Really dangerous in an open wheel car because you can climb wheels. So stock cars,
Been a lot cleaner so far in these heats tonight. Nobody's really tore their shit up, although it's not for lack of trying if you're Paul Tracy.
Elio Castroneves leading heat number 2. As
And we have a caution.
And the caution flag will wave in our second heat race. Castroneves with the ringer Scott Bloomquist behind him and Michael Waltrip running third as we hit the yellow flag. So, a week ago I kind of on the spot turned in the fun flag. There's actually something in the SRX rulebook called the SRX green flag lap limit. We just hit it in this heat race. Caution flag.
Glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, thank you. I needed a minute to clean up the mess I made.
I think I was part of it.
Getting that
Well.
perfect slice is satisfying.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Paul Tracy. Series is so unpredictable. On paper, I thought this series would be very predictable, especially at a dirt race like this. I'm like, yeah, Tony Stewart's going to dominate. Guys like Paul Tracy don't have a chance, but here's Paul Tracy, even though it was through the help of a field inversion, running top 5 and staying in front of Tony Stewart. And, last week everybody slept on Doug Coby, but when I heard about how many times he had run at Stafford, I'm like, well, maybe we shouldn't have slept on Doug Coby. Hey, the jet dryer was not Juan Pablo's fault. The fucking rear end housing or something broke as he was trying to catch up to the field under caution. That was the strangest thing. I was watching that race in this very house I'm in right now, and it was like the caution initially was somebody blew up. And they're like, well, we'll be right back to Daytona, Come back for commercial, and I see Juan Pablo's car in pieces on fire, and I'm like, what the fuck? That is just the weirdest thing I've ever seen, to come back from commercial after they'd previously been under caution and see somebody on fire. I was like, how the fuck did this happen? And then you see what happened, and you couldn't believe it. It was hilarious. Thank God nobody got hurt. It was pretty damn funny. And then I got sick because I'm like, oh, great, they're going to call this race early and give it to Dave Blaney. Thank God they didn't. By the way, I do not know what the caution's for. I think they were making jokes and they just decided to throw a caution for the hell of it or something. Again, I don't know.
Camping World SRX Series live at Knoxville Raceway in Iowa on this very steamy Saturday night. Get ready.
2012 Daytona 500. That's a day I'll never forget.
Elio Castroneves.
That was one of the
Scott Bloomquist.
weirdest 3-day periods of my life, and not for a good reason. But the race was wild. 2012 Speedways. And Paul Tracy hit the wall again on another restart.
Sideways on the start.
And Elio blew the restart, and Bloomquist takes the lead.
PT.
Paul Tracy hit the wall, but he's going around the outside of Elio for second.
Champ.
And defending spots now on
Boy,
the
nothing about this race makes any sense right now.
main event. One of the changes made to the format for this week. Main event is based on the average finish in the 2 heat races. Scott Bloomquist
Stop with the full screen replay, CBS.
on the restart.
Paul Tracy gets back in the gas, and the car just fucking slides into the wall every restart.
On the front straightaway.
3 wide. Ernie Francis, Mikey, and Paul Tracy. And Tracy goes wide again. Keep it out of the wall, buddy. Will he keep it out of the wall?
That's going to cost him.
Sideways. Tony Stewart's underneath him now. And Haley Deegan's past Tony Stewart. The Camping World States of America.
His car got damaged early on, and he kind of
It's a
soldiered
camping
on.
world. We just live in it.
Just lost a bunch of positions there.
That's frustrating.
Gotta admit, CBS's camera work tonight kind of sucks. I can't really keep up with what's going on.
Out here. Since everybody's running on the bottom, there's really none of these slide
Stop stealing Dale Jr.'s catchphrase, Danica.
Be running and vying for second.
There was a slide job in the Xfinity race today, and Dale Jr. did everything he could to not call it a slide job. I was fucking dying. Even he said he got sick of that meme after like a week. Can't blame him.
What's going to be being the operative term, past tense. So Bloomquist leads, Castroneves second, Francis is third, Michael Waltrip is fourth, being challenged there by Haley Deegan for fifth. This the knot a little back.
Bobby Labonte's been very underwhelming so far tonight.
Two ribs on the inside.
That's
Just shows how much the cars move around. I know it's very tough when you're looking
Camping World's going to sponsor all 3 top series in NASCAR.
But when you're looking at it really close like that, you can just see how much car movement there is and how much control. Like every time you can see that car moves.
Junior's catchphrase is slide job. I'm the side draft guy because I watch those fucking cup races with that shitty 550 aero package, and the entire thing hinges on side draft. Oh, Paul Tracy finally spun out.
outside wall. That is Paul Tracy.
Paul Tracy putting on a show tonight, making it interesting.
And the caution flag is out. Less than a minute to go.
Less than a minute to go in the heat.
It's getting from bad to worse for PT out here.
Yeah.
Oh, now Tracy's got big damage. The right front of that car is up off the ground.
Right front.
That's
right
bad.
bodywork is hiked up pretty bad. It looks like it might be pretty close.
He needs some crew guys to come out and jump on the hood to get that thing back down.
Some of it.
I wish I was not coughing.
Just fun.
Tracy just lost it on his own, and this time he couldn't keep it out of the wall.
He's running up pretty high. The groove is moving up a little bit.
Slide and boop into the guardrail.
Around the outside, so he's just pushing it, getting up a little bit higher, getting on throttle a little bit harder. Probably a little bit frustrated from losing all those spots, but look at that hand over fist.
Paul Tracy looks like me trying to drive the late models in NASCAR Heat 5 on dirt. I suck at it.
That's more to do with green light checker coming up.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, that bit that front end up pretty
He's not
good.
afraid to gas it up, but I think he's about to get up the right side of that car. And he's
Well, hey, the good news is his left front's lower to the ground now.
We'll have a little work to do to get
That will surely help him turn.
So we're through the time clock in our second heat race, so we go to a green-white checker finish. So it's
The
not-
Bloomquist, Elio, Ernie Francis, and Mikey on the front 2 rows. Deegan and Stewart on the 3rd row. I think they're the ones to watch the rest of the night.
Deegan and Tony Stewart in row 3.
They're obviously going to be starting up front for the main as well as they're running, and they finished so high in the first heat. Francis trying to stick his nose in there. Ooh.
Bloomquist looks like he's having a little bit of heart.
Elio around the outside of Bloomquist.
Really wanted to give just enough room for Elio to get a
And
little
Bloomquist slide job. There you go. There's the slide job.
No, making it hard on Elio.
Castroneves misses the center of 3 and 4.
Jr., he's looked strong. He ran pretty well in the first
Ernie
heat.
Francis takes second. 1 to go.
Ernie Francis Jr. is doing a really good job. Second.
Mikey. Woo.
Jam for third place. Mike
Elio, get out of the way. He was 3 wide on the outside of Mikey and Tony Stewart.
360 kept going. Here they come to the checkered flag.
And Bloomquist is going to win the second heat. Ernie Francis second. What's the battle for 3rd look like?
Is gonna take the checkered
Mikey finishes 3rd. Stewart 4th. Haley Deegan 5th.
Tony Stewart edges Haley Deegan for 4th.
I better feel better soon. I've been sick since Tuesday. I'm doing way better than I was a few days ago. And I'm streaming anyway.
Late model national champion.
I didn't stream anything during the week because I just could not talk.
So he knows his way to victory here at this place.
But at least now I can breathe.
7-year-old from Tennessee who's got his own terrific story of recovery and return to racing.
Now they'll do the average finish and line up for 50-lap main. Good stuff. I feel like the coughing is so annoying. I wish I could help it. Bill Law of Averages Elliott finishes 6th in both heat races. So he should line up just about 6th for the main. I think it's safe to say Tony Stewart's going to start up front for the main. Stewart and Deegan will be in real good shape here. And Ernie Francis as well. Hey, do you think if Bill wins an SRX race, are they going to sound the siren? Well, I'm sorry, the siren, because people in Georgia are retarded and don't know how to speak. I say this as a guy who grew up in the South and hates how fucking people talk down here. Everybody in the South likes to leave letters off the ends of words and don't like to enunciate. I admit I'm guilty of it out of habit, but I try to sound and speak properly. I'm like the least southern person I know. I've got a southern accent and I watch Nice Car. But I'm not very, very southern. You're from the part of Georgia where they have books and learn. They learn them books real good. Who writ them books? I don't talk shit about Georgia or North Carolina, really, but it's the places like Mississippi and Alabama that I aim my anger at. Fuck. Cannot stop coughing. By the way, if you don't have cable and need somebody to tell you what's going on in the race minute by minute, subscribe to my channel. We do this every week. The 3 top series in NASCAR and SRX now for some reason.
Daugherty is milling around down there. I know you're around there somewhere, Brad. What are they able to do to these race cars right now?
Yeah, Lindsay, it's a no fuel pit stop, so no one's taking on any fuel. They still have air pressure, wedge, and spring rubber adjustments that they can make. Talk to Todd Parrott. All 4 of his race cars had spring rubbers. The thing that's different tonight, though, is they can change
The 3 R's.
So they're going to add rear tires.
Roll Tide.
Extra grip. Matt?
Scott Bloomquist, the ringer into
I hate Louisiana as well.
cautiously optimistic coming in. You never
Dumbass
done
Saints
something like
fans.
this, although it's similar to your dirt late model in many ways. So where was the fun factor for you so far through 2 heats?
Well, early I could see it was difficult to pass, and
Scott Bloomquist looks like he belongs on some kind of registered sex offenders list.
we get a decent start in the second one, we might be able to win us a race at least. And now the real race is on. We'll make a few adjustments here and hopefully pick it up a notch. Looks like it's a pretty competitive field though.
A little bit of fun with Elio Castroneves.
I'm glad these SRX races are as competitive as they are. I didn't expect them to be this competitive top to bottom. I thought it'd be pretty one-sided.
Oh, that's a nice Christmas card list. All right, thank you, Joker. Let's take a look at the results again from Heat 2. Here you go. There you have it, Scott Bloomquist. The winner, Ernie Francis Jr., who had never run on dirt. Right behind him there in the second spot, Paul Tracy, though, all the way down. Something I found fascinating is the fact that cars did not run on this track until 1901. Actually,
Wow.
forever ago, if you think about how long ago that was, right? This racetrack, Knoxville Raceway, is seen as a mecca.
Cars didn't
for
run
dirt
here till
racers. We have more
1901.
now at the track, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Jimmy Carter. Remember that episode of King of the Hill where Bobby thought Jimmy Carter was Jesus?
Knoxville, Iowa is this tiny farming town, about 45 minutes southeast of Des Moines. It is a small town with a small town feel, with this racetrack planted right in the center of it.
The track is exactly 1/2 mile in length on the bottom. It's made of black clay, the scientific term is zoot clay. Another dirt track anywhere in the world like Knoxville Raceway, there isn't one.
The best drivers in the world struggle here. You hate to say you're proud of that, but we are. When you win here, you've done something special.
It was built in 1878 for horse racing, and it was totally flat.
They put on a race there. First year was 1901. Thousands of people came to look at the cars. You know, of course, in 1901 there wasn't a lot of cars, let alone racing.
I don't know what to do to fill this time.
And became a sprint car track in the late 60s.
I'm gonna mute that because I can't hear myself think. You'd much rather hear me wheeze and cough like I've been doing all week. I really thought I'd be better by now. And I'm much better than I was, but I still am not completely better. I'm not feeling a whole lot of love on that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs so I can stream from a race. Because every now and then I go to some NASCAR races and shit, and I'd like to stream from the track, but I can't unless I have 1,000 subscribers for some reason.
Looked like you were poised to score.
Elio interview.
Was there some confusion?
Yes, so on the yellow flag, they said it's going to be a green and checkered flag. I kind of like confused, but you can't see the color. It's all dusty.
Elio didn't know if it was a green, white, checkered, or a one-lap shootout.
I thought it was a checkered flag, so I back off, you know, and then I see everybody hitting it and keep it going. I was like, oh, I guess the race is still on. So, I can't believe I need to have someone in the radio to telling me these things, because I can't drive and see everything, especially my first dirt race.
That's what happens when you're so used to having a spotter, and now you go old school, Brad. You're the Lone Ranger behind the wheel.
I love it. I'm here, though, with Brian Brown. He is the man here. Tell us a little bit about those heat races, Brian. What happened? What do you expect going forward? And are you having fun?
I'm definitely, man. I'm not just can't wipe the smile off my face from lap one. Just I've never drove a car with fenders before, so it's always with a wind sprint car, open wheel, things like that. So all this here and here is new to me, and I just didn't want to do something dumb the first heat races and knock the fender off or do something that was, you know, gonna embarrass us. So yeah, now it's 50 laps, you know, winner take all, and I think I've learned a lot and put a lot in the memory bank that, you know, can help me here this next 50 laps. So just want to thank, you know, Camping World, you know, everybody, CBS, Tony, Ray, Sandy, everybody that's allowed me to come and be a part of this SRX series. It's a dream come true to race with guys like Tony and Elio Castroneves, and I ain't seen you since Jordan had that shot back in the day.
Oh, come on now. We don't want to talk about that. That was a long time ago.
Brad Daugherty's fucking huge, in case you didn't know.
For sure. I'll tell you what, you better buckle up, Buttercup.
No, the second heat race is over. They're getting ready to line up for the 50-lap main event. They're taking a break to work on the cars. Some of them, like Paul Tracy, need to work on their cars because they're beat up pretty good. I liked the Dale Jr. download with Jimmy Spencer. I didn't think it was that awkward. I thought it could have been a lot worse, but nothing seemed to get really solved. But we get to hear part 2 of the interview next week, and they seem to have just started to get into the good shit before they cut the damn interview off and split it in 2. You know, I was actually getting irritated because you find out Jimmy Spencer was like 30 or 40 minutes late to the interview, but before I knew that, I'm sitting there, and I was already in a grouchy mood because I'm being sick and everything, and I was listening to the Dale Jr. download, waiting for the Jimmy Spencer interview, and the first 40 minutes of the episode is just Dale Jr. talking about his rich guy problems, and I'm like, dude, can we get to the fucking Jimmy Spencer interview? Like, I'm sick of, I don't want to hear about your rich guy problems. And I was getting mad at Dale Jr. for the first time ever, and then it was like, oh, Spencer was late to the interview. Okay, that's why we had to hear about Dale Jr.'s rich guy problems. We're here to entertain and inform. Bless you if you're entertained somehow. They're doing an Ernie Francis thing right now. Ernie Francis seems like a cool dude. Do I think Hailie Deegan has a chance to get a win? And what series? I think she has a strong chance to win a truck race. She's still got a long way to go before I can definitively say, hey, she's going to win an Xfinity race, or, God forbid, one day, a cup race. I think she can win a truck race. Probably not this year, but next year.
Especially on Father's Day weekend. I understand we've got some breaking
Happy
news.
Father's Day to all you deadbeat dads out there.
Knoxville Raceway. We're going to go to Brad Daugherty. What is up, Brad?
Ray Evernham.
See, I'm here with series director Ray Evernham, genius behind this thing. Ray, it looks like some of these race cars have worn out the right front tires, banged them up just a little bit. Are you going to make any changes? Are you going to let them change more tires? What are you going to do?
Yeah, we have 4 cars that have damages in the sidewall from them not behaving themselves out there. There's a couple guys trying to make the track a little wider, and it is. So we really can't put new tires on that many cars and not put them on all. So I don't like, I don't like to do that. Keep everybody fair. We're going to put a right front tire on in addition to 2 rears and try and make it fair for everybody. We're again
Fresh tires for everybody. Ray Evernham's like Oprah Winfrey. You get tires. You get tires. You get tires.
I think we'll get going here, but man, they've had some really, really good racing. I know that Ilya was a little bit upset about the green-white checker, but that's the rule. We do not want to race to end under caution, so we are going to have green-white checker. There's 1 attempt normally at the 12-minute race, and there'll be as many attempts as we need. We could be here to midnight, right? To get this race to finish under green.
Okay, well, Matt, Ray says they can't.
Xfinity race in Nashville today looked like it was going to last till midnight at one point.
They're going to give them a break this time.
Oh, it's going to get even more exciting, Brian. Now, the thrill from West Hill, Paul Tracy's certainly living up to his nickname. You've had some excitement out there. Anybody's number you want to write on the dash so you don't...
Everybody gets at least 3 new tires. If you're Canadian, the exchange rate, you probably just get 1 tire.
Boogie on him on this next race if I see him. That's 2 weeks in a row. The guy's turned me, slammed me,
Ooh, Paul Tracy's got beef with Mikey.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed that. I'm like, Mikey and Paul Tracy in 2 weeks can't stop running into each other.
Brad.
Yep, hold on, I'm coming. I got to talk to you, Michael. Hold on. Michael, there's some trash talk going on.
Brad Daugherty and his bad knees running over to talk to Michael.
How's your butt? How's your head? How are your feet?
Well, I want to tell you something. I don't know if you know this or not, Brad, but I did Dance with the Stars, and big feet ain't for dancing, and they ain't for these little cars. When I was leading, I got my darn foot, look in here, I got my foot caught above the toe strap where you pull it back when it's wide open.
Wow.
All that down there. And
There's a lot going on down there.
there is, and a lot going on the racetrack.
Michael Waltrip needs a specially built race car. He's like retarded or something. Hey, DFS.
Around me at the end of the race 'cause he's a big boy. I don't want to tangle with Paul Tracy, but do you know who spun me?
Hey, what? Fucking hey, Paul Tracy's mad at Michael. It was Ernie Francis's fault. He went 3 wide and put Michael into the side of Paul Tracy.
I'm going to go spin him out, and if he's wrong, you're going to have to deal with him. If you tell me some bad information, it ain't my fault.
Paul Tracy looks like Butterbean.
It ain't my fault.
Go get him, Michael. Lindsay.
Paul Tracy looks like Butterbean, and Michael Waltrip's a big gangly motherfucker.
How to follow that up, but I'm going to try my hardest. All right, here goes. We all know that racing is such a family affair, but I'm willing to guess that nobody knows that better than Marco Andretti. That's because Marco's team owner and also his grandfather Mario Andretti, one of the most famous.
Somebody hook each other up with links because I can't show the race and I don't have a link.
He showed us what it's been like, what it was like as a kid growing up Andretti.
Oh, God, I don't need to hear about the Andrettis for the 95,000th time, do I? The Mario Andretti is like the coolest motherfucker in racing. Paul Tracy looks like Butterbean, and you say he's a pedophile. Michael Waltrip's just in the closet, I'm pretty sure. Brad Daugherty walks like Fred. It's in bad knees, man. When you're like 8 feet tall, your knees wear out pretty quickly. Telling you, you get CBS for free. Just get you one of them little digital cable box thingies. Since the rabbit ears don't work anymore.
Full-time racing in IndyCar. This is his first year not doing that.
Fuck.
To do something big here tonight. He looked at me before he started running tonight and said, I don't know what's going to happen. I've had so few laps here. So everybody's going to be paying attention to see what he can do in this feature. We want to tell you about...
I'm trying really hard to not make a bad joke about Lindsay Zarniak right now.
Our Wheels Up ambassador was the new women's head coach.
Don't give Ryan Holman any ideas for shit videos. SRX rivalries. Michael Waltrip versus Paul Tracy. Probably, well, maybe if Holman could actually upload a video before he steals it from somebody else, then he can do it.
Congratulations to Holman, named new head coach of Drake University women's hoops team. Stay with us. Much more to come here. Superstar.
Or you could do like Black Flags Matter and the Iceberg and them other dudes and just make the same fucking video as the other guy over and over. Slap Shoes is the king, though. That's the best NASCAR YouTube channel. Slap Shoes and Brock Beard. Everybody else is like small potatoes. You got plenty of time. This break between the heat and the main is pretty lengthy. Boy, I'm comfortable right now. And that's rare sitting in this fucking chair. I got my feet up, lean back. Wish I could stop coughing, though. Racing rivalries, Danica versus Victory Lane. That's not a rivalry. Rivalries are competitive. She never even got close to Victory Lane. It can't be a rivalry. Sometimes you watch Out of the Groove to hear horrible takes. Well, that's a good place to go for horrible takes, but I don't hold it against him. Steph's a cool guy. But, yeah, between you and me, he doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, but he's a really cool dude. He's a very good guy. I'm subscribed to his channel. Sometimes I watch his stuff. I usually don't watch his stuff during the week. I watch the video he uploads after the race. My favorite YouTubers, like I said, are Slap Shoes, Brock Beard, and Real Radman. Real Radman is a really good YouTuber. He mostly just plays the NASCAR video games. He's a really cool guy. Very down to earth. I get the impression from some parts of the NASCAR YouTube community that they feel like they're really important. When in reality, they're just like me with more viewers. I'm totally content to be in my dark little corner of NASCAR YouTube where I'm not really known. But if they want to have the audacity to give me a fucking hot pass like they did a couple of NASCAR YouTubers this weekend in Nashville, they can give me one because I'm just as fucking qualified as they are. I mean, shit. I make YouTube videos. I'm media now. They got to let me in the... I'm going to go to Charlotte in the fall for the Roval and be like, hey, y'all got to let me in. I do YouTube stuff. I like the Iceberg. His videos have gotten kind of repetitive, but I do like the Iceberg. Well, like I said, ain't nobody Slap Shoes or Brock Beard. That's like next level NASCAR YouTube. The Last Car series, Rise of the Field Fillers on Brock Beard's YouTube channel is phenomenal. That's like some of the best fan-made documentaries I've ever seen. Dude, even if I was known, I wouldn't change who the fuck I am. Like, I'd still be saying that because I don't say anything that bad. I joke around a lot. I don't take anything too seriously.
Tomorrow on CBS, we kick off our
I'd still be me. You're not going to change me. I promise. Unless somebody wants to give me a lot of money. So yeah, maybe I would change. I'd sell out in a second. All right, they're on the track. We're getting ready for the 50-lap main.
Yeah, Lindsay, we had a pretty good bit of action as you see the starting lineup for our main event coming across the screen. And we expect a lot more in this 50-lap feature. Tony Stewart with a win and a 4th place finish gets the first starting spot in our main event.
I encourage you all to make multiple accounts and pump up my numbers.
And 2 drivers with a ton of experience racing on dirt. Stewart
You never have to watch another one of my videos again. Just subscribe.
for the feature event.
I wouldn't watch my videos.
I can't wait to see how that shakes out with Waltrip and Tracy. They're going to find each other out there in this race, that's for sure.
There's Ryan Brown, local track hero, back in the 8th position. Elio Castro-Neves, his first experience on the dirt. Littleton both frustrated and smiling. Bottom of the body's had a bit of a struggle tonight.
Bobby Labonte, where are you?
Progress. We'll see if
Bill Elliott, where are you?
the rest of that
And look, Bill Elliott's lining up
and our progressive
on the
race
3rd row.
tonight we're going 50 laps with caution flags not counted.
Caution laps do not count in the last 50 laps here. Tony Stewart, Ernie Francis, Haley Deegan, and Scott Bloomquist up front.
Haley Deegan putting herself quite well for our start. And here we go for main event number 2 on our
Excuse me.
Superstar Racing Experience Camping World Series. Green flag at
Will Paul Tracy hit the wall in this restart? No. Somehow he did not. Stewart launches out to the lead. Francis into 2nd, Bloomquist 3rd. Haley Deegan sliding up off the bottom. She's going to fall into 4th. Stayed just in front of Bill Elliott, who looked like he was going to send it in on her.
Elliott in the purple car defending that position.
Andretti's really aggressive on these short runs. He's coming around the outside of Haley Deegan and Bill Elliott. And they're 3 wide, Elliott, Deegan, and Andretti. Andretti slides back. Bill Elliott slides. Deegan pulls away. That's for 4th. I picked Tony Stewart to win the race, and it looks good so far.
Bill Elliott in the purple machine trying to find some racing room.
Bill got underneath her, and you can just see what that higher line does for momentum. I think we're going to see cars run up a little higher in the race. I hope so.
Bring back the Real Men of Genius commercials. Haley Deegan versus Bill Elliott in 2021. She's on the outside. Bill's on the bottom. It's for 4th place. Tony Stewart's starting to check out. Are we going to get a fun flag even though one of the boss men is up front?
Finally completes that pass for 4th place. And now Scott Bloomquist
I bet there won't be any fun flags now that Tony Stewart's leading.
Francis Jr. in the yellow car for 2nd.
Trying to drive away as Bloomquist and Francis fight it out for 2nd.
I thought Scott was really smart in just saying he was taking it easy.
Bill Elliott's really turned up the heat today. He was a disappointment last week. He's been solid tonight.
I want a slide job.
He just showed you one right there. Ran in on
He
the
looks like he's ready to race now.
for
Caution.
debris.
Debris. I did see something fly off of somebody's car going into turn 1 about a lap ago. So, hey, we got debris yellows and SRX. Maybe we're not so different from NASCAR after all.
SRX Series 34 Ford pace car out in front of the field that will get yellow flag number 1 of our feature event. There's JB. Oh, there it is.
Yep, big old piece of metal.
To venture out on a limb, that won't be the last piece of body work we see laying on the racetrack by the time we're done with our main event.
Might be leaving it that size out there at the end. Don't be so much.
Man, I have a headache from all this coughing.
We're hopeful.
Very
I mean,
fun.
Who said that? Sorry.
All right, well, it won't take long. AMR safety team will get out there, scoop it up, and we should go back racing.
They were like, yay, debris yellow.
So Tony Stewart, 11 times a winner of the Knoxville Nationals. We talked to you about the big prestigious sprint car race as a team owner, and he's having a pretty fine event here tonight.
Get a look over there on the right side of your screen. You see the dash. You can see RPM.
Remember all the boomers that complained about the digital dash? Did they complain about it during SRX?
Probably going to be 1 especially in stock car racing, you probably got water pressure. The dash has changed a good few years back, but this is definitely a step into technology to see a glass screen inside of these dirt cars.
Yep. Cleanup continues. We'll take a break.
What cleanup? You got to walk out there and pick up one piece of metal. Do you really need a commercial break for that? Yeah, no wasted laps, and I like 50 laps being the length here. Last week, the race kind of ran out of steam by the end when it was obvious that, yeah, ain't nobody beating Doug Coby tonight. Just like I don't think anybody's beating Tony Stewart tonight now that he's out front. SRX sure has the coolest pace car in racing. Paul Tracy on pit road. I tell you what. Fixing more damage on Paul Tracy's car. I'm sure the debris came off of his car. Wouldn't surprise me. God, I got a headache. I love those posts. I have legitimately seen comments and posts on Facebook of like old crashes, and the boomers will say shit like, "That's back when they didn't worry about safety harnesses. The drivers were men. They didn't need no stinking wimpy Hans device or safer barriers. They were men." And it's like, yeah, I want to see guys die or get brain damage. Yeah, they were men back then. You will actually see these old fuckers say shit like that. Now, is Paul Tracy getting out? Is that a DNF? Paul Tracy appears to be loosening his belt.
Here at Knoxville Raceway and about set to get our feature event back underway in a moment.
And getting out of the car.
Together with Camping World, let's raise $1 million to battle food insecurity in our communities. Camping World will match all individual.
Bobby liked Jeff Gordon. He's handsome. Bobby, people are going to think you're not right talking like that.
So 1 to go is the signal. They'll come back around for a restart.
The Smoke is your leader with 45 to go when they throw the green, and Paul Tracy's out of the race. Michael Waltrip will live to see another day.
That outside front straight wall has owned him. Just owned him. I mean, his car.
And since they were picking up all
One too many trips to the outside wall for Paul Tracy.
a pretty good indicator that that's where it came from. Doesn't look like Paul's going to be able to continue in the main event. Pace cars.
Whoa, Bill Elliott didn't go on this restart. What's wrong with Bill Elliott? Tony Stewart launches out front, and Bill Elliott's got mechanical problems for the second week in a row. Stewart's got the lead. Bill's car's rolling again, but it's not very fast. Bloomquist underneath Tony Stewart in 4. But nobody's been able to pass Tony once he gets up front and starts running that line in the middle. Right in the middle. Although Bloomquist is making one hell of an effort. But Stewart clears him, gaps him by about 3 car lengths off of 2. Mikey and Haley Deegan for 4th. She just said Waltrip's getting just inside Deegan. First of all, ew. Ah! The Waltrip slide. When he doors the fuck out of Haley Deegan. She still passed him anyway around the outside. Now Mikey dives it into 3. You can't hang with her, Mikey. She's too good. Lucas really putting the pressure on Tony. That would be something 2 weeks in a row to have the local ringer come out here and win this race. Bloomquist is door-to-door with Tony going down the back. He drove a little harder into 3 than Tony, but Tony's going to get that run off. Yeah. Oh, we got a spin. And we have a caution. Brian Brown's turned around backwards.
accident.
Tony Stewart, I believe, was still the leader at the time of caution.
Damage to the right front of his car.
And Elio's got damage. Yeah, that's probably going to end Elio's day. His right front wheel's not turning.
The right front damage on the Castrodama's machine.
Nah, Buffy and Mikey got divorced a few years ago, Mike.
Suspension broken.
I think Mikey's got a new wife or some shit. He got remarried.
This is Brian Brown's on board.
I'm going to assume Brown got run into by Elio, because if Elio's got all that damage.
Just got in a little high. You know, you saw him use up Marco. Another car getting used up.
Polo.
But he just couldn't hold on to it.
She said Marco. I said Polo.
Just kept coming around on him.
Well, the damage toll adding up quickly, Matt.
And you can add Paul Tracy.
Well, Paul Tracy, what happened?
And we're going to have to wait until Eldora.
Now Elio's out of the race.
Versus Tracy. So what's your takeaway of your first big run here on the dirt?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I drove. I felt I drove really well. I was making passes. I came through the field in the first heat. Was holding my own, trying to save the tires for the end of the second heat. And then Michael comes along and
Damn.
drives over me like I'm a pinball or something. So I don't know. He's gonna get one, man. He's got one coming. That's for sure.
Well, stop running in the back, Paul Tracy.
I mean, I'm having a blast. Our car, it overheated in the end. I don't know what's going on, but it ran up to 250 degrees, and we couldn't get it to cool off. And we don't want to blow these motors up. These guys worked too hard to get this car out for next week. We don't need a blown up motor.
All right, thanks, Paul. AB?
Okay, man, thanks. Paul was as advertised tonight.
We don't need fun flags tonight, apparently.
I'm wondering what else is going on with that.
Elio's still in his car. They're working on it, but I just don't see how they're going to get that fixed.
Yes, he did. The thrill from West Hill gave us plenty of thrills tonight.
Those goddamn walls.
Number 4 here at Knoxville Raceway.
You want to know the most annoying wall in racing when you're playing a NASCAR game is when you come off the exit of turn 4 at Bristol and that fucking safer barrier sticking out there to knock the shit out of you. And if it wasn't there, you could probably make the exit of 4 way better. Yeah, that used to annoy me.
And Paul, remember, started 11th in the first heat race and ran.
How many times do you come off a corner and barely hit the wall in a game and think, well, goddamn it, if that safer barrier wasn't there?
Paul was looking great. I mean, passing for second on the front straightaway, so he's right. He was running great. I mean, he's doing a great job. I mean, he's a wheelman. So it's a bummer we didn't get to see this all play out. Not only just how well he could do, but also, you know, how it was going to pan out with Michael, because it's always fun to watch. But look, gave us something to talk about up here.
Shout out to Mikey for repping a sponsor that dropped his ass years ago with his Aaron's helmet. Next week is Eldora. I think Tony Stewart's going to go back-to-back tonight and next week, although Bloomquist is giving him a lot of trouble right now.
It's no wonder that they're on this superstar
Cold custard.
lineup, because they're iconic.
All right, 1 to go is the signal. Tony Stewart has chosen the outside lane for the restart of that orange car. So this will be interesting. With Bloomquist is inside. As you look at Scott Bloomquist, 57-year-old from Tennessee. Scott involved in a terrible motorcycle accident in late March 2019. Long recovery for a period of time. He's a professional racer. After he started racing, he didn't have all the feeling in his right leg.
Oh, wow.
And it came back, and here he is. And a look at Tony Stewart with Bloomquist to his inside as we come through turn number 4 and get ready for the restart.
Stewart gets a great launch. Bloomquist was a little sideways coming across start-finish. God, Tony's killing these guys on restarts. He might grow up to be like Kyle Busch one day. I'm kidding. Mikey dive bombed, slide job to third in front of Ernie Francis. And up in front of Haley Deegan. Hey, Michael. Race has been pretty entertaining. Francis and Deegan. Don't let Mikey get away from you now. Oh, Brown spun out again. And the caution's out again. And Andretti just passed Ernie Francis and Haley Deegan 3 wide as the caution came out and Francis runs into him under yellow.
Ernie Francis Jr.? Okay, all right. Let's see
Okay.
this play out.
What happened there?
I mean, that happens, you know, when it goes caution.
Yeah, Michael Waltrip and Marco Andretti with these crazy dive bomb moves. 2 weeks in a row we've seen it from both of these guys.
This is another one that's going to play out.
Brian Brown loves spinning out for no reason. Paul Tracy loves hitting the wall. We're learning a lot in the SRX. Oh yeah, Willie T. Ribbs is still here. Positioned by attrition, Willie T. Ribbs. Well, this 50 laps could take all night because caution laps don't count.
Left front tire on Willie's car. He was chasing it, coming up off the corner.
It's a shame I'm not going to get any money if Tony Stewart wins.
Well, maybe that's the reason he was chasing it. Got tagged first.
Yeah, he did.
All right, well, I'd say
Brian Brown's a late he's a open wheel modified driver. Apparently he's won a shit ton of races, especially at Knoxville. Quickie yellow, we're back to green. Tony didn't get as good of a launch that time, but he still clears Bloomquist into one, and Mikey sends it in. Makes contact with Bloomquist. That's going to get Haley Deegan to second. We got another spin in the back. The 17, get it going, get it going. Deegan's on the outside of Tony for the lead. Don't you dare throw a yellow. Haley Deegan's going for the lead. Ah, caution's out. Stewart was clear of Deegan anyway, so it's okay. Willie T. Ribbs didn't get going. He spun out, and then the car stalled.
What happened there?
Or maybe he just stopped on purpose to draw a caution.
That I can say for sure. After that, why he wasn't able to get going?
Ooh, he got spun by Awesome Bill.
I wonder if he got tapped from behind at all. It looked like he really was going straight in the middle of the corner. We've got an onboard here to be able to see if maybe that was the case.
And then he stopped to draw a caution, and then conveniently when the caution came out, he started rolling again. I can't believe Elio's still out there running as bad as his car looked earlier.
Maybe. Could have had some help. Some good battles at the front here.
Boy, Deegan really took advantage of Tony Stewart's bad restart and Bloomquist getting tight in turn one. Well, that's fucking lame.
A restart. We've completed 8 green flag laps in our main event.
I think in SRX we should race back to the yellow. Because that fucked Haley Deegan and put her back to 4th. And she was second. Tony slides on this restart again. He gave Bloomquist the outside, and Bloomquist takes the lead. But, oh, he went way too wide. Ah! Oh, I thought he was a goner. He went way too wide and came down. I thought he was going to wreck the whole field. Deegan's to the outside of Tony Stewart. Here comes Michael. You don't want to let Mikey get to your inside. Those dive bombs are crazy. Bloomquist went full send from that outside, but even he couldn't hold it like Tony Stewart's been holding it all night. Although now Tony's on the bottom because he sees Michael coming. You got to shut the door on Mikey. You can't let him in. You won't make the corner if you don't shut the door on him. And Michael clears Haley Deegan for second.
It's getting exciting up at the front. Let's have a look at how everything's been going down here.
Stop with the full screen replays. Michael Waltrip was going for the lead, goddammit.
Lanes of grip, but if you get up just a little bit too high, it looks like everybody's having a problem and getting a little over rotated there. You want to be sideways, just go sideways. This is on board from Bloomquist. See, it's dusty. It looks dusty up there. That's not mud. There's no grip up there. That just looks like loose dirt.
It might be Tony Stewart here in a minute, Stealth Burrito, because Mikey just put the bumper to him off of 4, and he's got the Tony's inside. Watch this turn 1. Mikey. Tony's back to running his preferred line. Mikey got really loose there in 2. Tony's really stable running the top.
like that Michael's willing to put it
God, Michael Waltrip's laying it all on the line. I didn't think Mikey had this left in him. I don't think Mikey ever had this in him. SRX has awoken a monster. Michael Waltrip's a maniac, and he's taking the lead. He's actually got a nose in front of Tony Stewart right now. If he fucks up, it's going to hand it right to Deegan. Mikey clears Tony Stewart. Lap 15, Michael Waltrip's leading. Well, Tony can't put the pressure on Michael. Now Haley Deegan's to Tony's inside. Okay, so if Michael Waltrip gets a big lead, you better not throw a fun flag yellow. You better not. Yeah, where the fuck was this in Mikey's entire NASCAR career? I had no idea Mikey had this in him. Dale Earnhardt was right. He saw something in Michael Waltrip. Forgive me for ever questioning the Intimidator. Michael Waltrip's proving him right now. He passed Tony Stewart on a dirt track for the lead. And he's driving away.
I was just going to talk about that. He did the exact same thing at Stafford. He just pulled away and made it look easy.
And then the caution came out, and he got knocked around and swallowed up, and it didn't work out as he was hoping. Matt, you there now?
I'm down here on the road. The action has calmed down, at least here on the pitch, but certainly heating up out there. You know when you talk about
Tony Stewart's changed his lineup. Now he's running the bottom, running in Michael's tire tracks. Can Mikey consistently put together the next 32 laps to stay in front of Tony Stewart? Can he really do that? I don't think he can. Dale Earnhardt had the vision 20 years ago that one day Michael Waltrip would be a badass race car driver. Mikey's heard all the jokes I've made about him over the years. Well, Danica Patrick, you're an expert on feeling insecure, aren't you?
Michael has used his self-deprecating humor. So, okay, class clown sometimes. It's a great advantage. I mean, a long-time broadcaster for Fox and auto racing. And yet sometimes maybe that self-deprecation has worked against him in terms of how people...
Tony Stewart to the outside of Mikey going into one. There you go. I didn't think Mikey would be able to hold him off. Tony clears him off of two. Deegan's got a nose to the inside of Michael. Yeah, Tony went up there and took the lead back. We were excited for a minute like Mikey was going to do something. I didn't think Michael would be consistent enough to hold off Tony. You're going to have to be really, really consistent to beat Tony Stewart. Yeah, Stealth Burrito, I'm not a psych major either, but I can read people really well. And when I hear Danica mention the word insecure, I'm like, oh, hello. I hear alarm bells going off. Well, Mikey's making another run back at Tony. I think maybe Mikey does better when he's got somebody to chase. He might not be as consistent leading the pack, but when he's got that car in front of him to chase, he looks really strong, and he's right on Tony Stewart again. He's got to his inside. Don't spin him out. You do not want to spin him out.
You know, it's not as easy as you would think it'd be to bump and push people out of the way. I mean, trust me, I tried it.
Yeah, Danica, remember that time you tried to bump and spin Landon Castle out of the way? How'd that end for you, dumbass? Wow, Waltrip ran Deegan wide off of two. Tony Stewart stretches out the lead. Ernie Francis gets to the inside of Deegan for third. He takes it away from Deegan. These races are so competitive. Danica, it's so hard to actually bump and root people out of the way. Yeah, you suck at it. I've seen you bust your own ass trying to take other people out. I do not miss Danica in NASCAR. I do not miss her at all. The day she announced she was leaving NASCAR was one of the happiest days of my life. I was like, thank God. side by side on the broadcast right now in commercial. Just past halfway, Stewart, Michael Waltrip, Ernie Francis. Stewart and Waltrip have traded the lead. Paul Tracy's the only car out of the race. Oh, Michael got caught in the dirty air. I'm just kidding. We don't have to worry about that kind of bullshit here. Dirty air on a dirt track. Bloomquist and Bill Elliott for 5th. Oh, Bloomquist is on the verge of spinning out. I didn't think 50 laps at such a small racetrack could take so long. God damn it. I'm really excited for when they race IRP in Nashville. Especially IRP. I love that track. All the old Busch Series and Nationwide races there were so good. It's too early to put the bump and run on him, Mikey. You still got to run 20 more laps. If you're going to bump and run Tony Stewart, you better do it at the last possible second so he can't get back to you.
Knoxville Raceway in Iowa, the sprint car capital of the world, hosting race number 2 of the Camping World SRX Series on a Saturday night. We're just past the 30-lap mark. We're just hitting the 30-lap mark of 50 in our main event. And the race for the lead is a good one. Tony Stewart in the orange car being pursued heavily by Michael Waltrip in the blue car.
No, this is not a super speedway race from 2003. You're really seeing Michael Waltrip put pressure on Tony Stewart for the lead. Bad corner for Mikey there, though. Tony stretches it out again.
The big slide wide in 2 has fallen back to 6th.
Got Tony's pass for the lead here on Waltrip.
Maybe Tony let Mikey pass him for the lead just to put on a show and avoid the fun caution. What do you think? Big brain thinking from the smoke? Because he passed Michael pretty easily to get the lead back. Oh, got a spinner. Bloomquist. I said he was on the verge of spinning out, and he just did. And we have a caution.
Maybe give us a glimpse of what happened.
Not surprised.
Yeah, look back.
Oh, Elio got into the side of Bloomquist and spun him out.
Let's see it from outside the car here. We're going to get another glimpse. Yeah, missed the first tap, but you know, when you're running back there, you want to get going.
So caution out. 33 complete. And Scott Bloomquist trying to work his way back up front after being in the lead of this main event a while ago.
At Progressive, we love your pets as much as you do. Like this guy in a hat.
Shut up.
If they're ever in a car accident with you, right your way, right?
Oh my God, what is wrong with my mute button? NASCAR on Nickelodeon. NFL did it. We should do it. God, I've got such a headache. I hate to say it. I'm enjoying this race, but at the same time, can it please be over so I can get off here and rest for tomorrow? And hopefully be coughing infinitely less tomorrow. Excuse me. What the fuck is this? It's people talking about a race. That's what the fuck it is. People talking about the SRX race at Knoxville. It's a live reaction stream. It's this whole YouTube thing. It's pretty wild. And I'm a very sick live streamer who can't stop coughing but doesn't want to stop the stream anyway. That's Brad Daugherty. He's really tall.
The weight is in the middle of the race car, so it doesn't give anyone an advantage of any discipline. And what you're seeing here in this right rear tire is the weight gets over so hard on that right rear tire, it absolutely eats the tire down to the tread. So that's what we're seeing. That's why these guys are slipping and sliding around so bad, and these cars are a handful to drive because of the weight. There's not a lot of left side weight. It's centrally distributed, so it takes a lot of talent.
Never had a Goodies headache powder. It's amazing how those things work.
So Scott Bloomquist, I mentioned before, making his way back to Top Shelf Racing. There he got spun around by the contact from Castro Neves in turn number 4.
Jesus. Send me money so I can buy a box of Goodies headache powders. I'll share them with you. Now Brad Daugherty looks like he'd fit in at the University of North Carolina, where they really play basketball. Bill Elliott's car stopped again. What the fuck is up with Bill Elliott's car having mechanical problems every week? Can't figure that one out. For the second week in a row, we got to push, but they got to get him a new car.
Smoke, you got me on the radio?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me about it out there. How's it going?
Tall, 6 foot, whatever the hell he is, guy. He's giving me fits out here. He's rolling around pretty good. So is Ernie Francis. So, I mean, this isn't a walk.
Tony sounds surprised as anyone that Michael Waltrip's doing so well.
On the track that Michael's better than I am. Spots I feel like that I'm a little bit better than he is. So I just gotta try to maintain the advantage I got in the spot I'm good at, and gotta have to figure out how to get better in the spot that he's better.
Where are you better?
I feel like I'm pretty good in 1 and 2. I feel like he's better at being 3 and 4. So I just gotta try to figure out what to do and how to move around a little bit, try to get myself a little better here.
All right, well, good luck. You know, Michael likes to use those fenders, so if he gets inside, you'll be ready.
Try STP for headaches. Drink a whole bottle of STP. You'll never have a headache ever again if you drink a bottle of STP. It cures everything. Tony Stewart sounds really focused. At least NASCAR's not the only retarded series that bugs people during the race.
Michael, this is Danica. You got me?
Why is Mikey in front of Tony under the caution?
All right.
Mikey, one of Danica's biggest fans. He's got to be socked right now to have Danica talking to him.
Well, he's pretty good. I think he's won a championship or 2. But I like this, man. I feel like I can get him. You know, I might have to bump him a little bit, and I don't think it's time for that.
STP stands for Stop the Pain Forever.
I haven't raced dirt in 10 years, and I gotta tell you, there's a big smile on my face. This is really cool.
I tell you what, bud, you look really good out there. I think outside's going to be all right. Get a little momentum off the course.
He looks cramped in the race car, but he's driving the hell out of it, Mikey is. Yeah. Hey, Tony, is Danica up in the booth? You got a copy? Who? Danica who? Who the fuck are you? Oh, you mean that bitch that wasted my money for like 5 years in a row? Driving my 10 car?
by a safety truck again and appeared not to be under power. Remember, it was at Stafford a week ago that the
Bill Elliott is cursed in the SRX.
That's right. That's right. He slowed down earlier tonight too.
Can't figure that out. They gotta get him a new car.
They could lap him. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe somebody's got some kind of report down there that we
Stop
could,
sabotaging Bill Elliott.
Yeah, I'll bet Matt's all over it. We'll hear from him as soon as he's got the news for us.
That car does not sound healthy. It sounds, as Mike Joy once said, flatulent.
Looks like he takes his helmet off, unfortunately. Sometimes that kind of sound could be body work, but that could be exhausting.
We're going green with 17 to go. The smoke, Mikey, Ernie Francis, Haley Deegan. She has a bad restart. Then that brings Elio back up to the front here. And Ernie Francis takes second away from Michael. They jam up coming out of 2. That hurts Michael. Here comes Elio. And Deegan back to the inside. Tony Stewart's got away with the lead. I thought Elio's knot was dumb when I saw that right front wheel wasn't turn earlier. Hell, it wasn't even roll, much less turn.
The good thing about these short tracks is you don't need the body work. You know, when you get to the bigger tracks and you're going a lot faster, aerodynamics matter. But that's why we're all...
Can y'all stay green and get this race over with? I got a headache.
Waltrip got a nudge and pushed up out of the lane. Here goes Haley Deegan through. So Michael struggling after the restart. He's back to 5th place.
Stop with the full screen replays. Yes, he did, Mike. I remember Bill would come back and drive a 91 car or something every now and then for Evernham. 2004 or 5, maybe into 06. I can't remember. Tony Stewart's got about a 4-car length lead on Ernie Francis for now. Those leads in this series seem to fluctuate. They're not consistent at all because the cars are so evenly matched and competitive. 15 to go. 2 cars out of the race, Bill Elliott and Paul Tracy.
Before we started with our SRX series, jumped in what they call a mod light car, won the heat, and won the feature at that local track. He's showing that he...
Every time I hear Alan Bestwick say the word heat, I think of NASCAR Heat when he was doing the Beat the Heat challenge things. Back when NASCAR Heat was good. I don't mean the modern shitty NASCAR Heats. I mean the good ones from like PS1, PS2, and Dirt to Daytona.
Had some laps with him yesterday here. And for Ernie and the other drivers who are used to racing with windshields, now they're racing on a dirt track without a windshield in front of them. What's that like?
Well, you've got dirt flying around, you've got wind flying around. There's all these different little elements that can sometimes not maybe be the biggest deal as much as just a little annoying. You know, you've got dirt inside your helmet. You're working on trying to keep it out. Sometimes you have to use like...
So this lap, it looks like Tony Stewart was the fastest, and he's the leader. 2/10 quicker than Ernie Francis. This leaderboard I have, I'm not paying enough attention to it. I'm getting lap times and shit on it. That's way better than the NASCAR.com leaderboards we use during those races.
Rick Rand is talking to Bill Elliott. They have topped it off with fuel, seeing if maybe that's possibly what the issue is, a fuel pickup problem.
Bill Elliott looks really depressed. I would be too.
Same issue as what you had at Stafford?
Same problem. Same deal. Yeah. We're going to try to go back out and make a few more laps.
So you topped
Why bother?
We're going to go back out and say maybe there's a fuel pickup problem in the cell.
Fuel pickup problem. He says the exact same problem as last week. They got to get that sorted out. I want to see Bill Elliott have a fair shot. So far, Greg Biffle's the only guy in the SRX to drive 2 different cars. Bobby Labonte, not a dirt track driver, but I guarantee he's having just as much fun as anybody out there tonight. Bobby's a racer. He doesn't want to stop racing. I know his last 8 years in Cup that he had were pretty much wasted, but Bobby, you know, never wanted to stop racing. I felt so bad for Bobby his last bunch of years in Cup. It just wasn't fair. He was bad cars, bad teams. Couldn't recapture any of what he had in the early 2000s.
Good run off the corner. Clear. You know, this is something that I'm calling it like a spotter.
They better work overtime this week on fixing Bill's car. Haley Deegan's third. She just passed Elio Castroneves. Yeah, Tony Stewart's checked out. Nice move to pass Elio there.
That's not someone in your ear saying clear, clear. So, you know, you've got to be really aware of your mirrors, yes, but, you know, that's not always the easiest thing to look at. So you really have to be aware of the rate at which you pass them, and you've got to go off of feel. So, you know, there's extra elements out here for these drivers.
Now, one of the elements that Haley Deegan's facing is time is running out. She's up to third, but now we have 6 laps to go in our...
Well, the lead's closing up again. Ernie Francis is sending into these corners. I think Tony was kind of taking it easy for a while. He better pick up the pace again because Francis is there and he's brought Haley Deegan with him. I can't see how many laps to go because my local news has a thing over the top of the screen, so I can't fucking see. Off of 2 that time, Tony stretched it out again. Yeah, Mike, that's the thing that throws me off about dirt racing, just how much the track changes constantly. Way more than an asphalt track, and I just get completely lost. I'm like, what line should they be running? What line's the faster line? How's this going to work? My lack of dirt expertise really bugs me in these moments. All I know is that Tony Stewart's been the most consistent all night. Haley Deegan as well. But they don't have anything for Tony. I think we're at 3 to go. 3 to go. Now would be a good time for a fun flag if you wanted to be an asshole. I said Tony needs to pick up the pace. He sure did. He left Ernie Francis now. 2 laps to go. We're at 2 to go. And he's looking in the mirror. Ernie Francis is mirror driving right now. He can't even think about getting to Tony Stewart. He's trying to hold off Haley Deegan. She's not shy about using the bumper. Hell, even on her own teammates we've seen in the past, she's not shy about using the bumper. White flag, 1 to go. I think the Smoke Dog's going to win one. And Deegan to the inside of Ernie Francis for second. Makes the pass. Francis to her outside in 3. Not going to be enough. Haley Deegan's going to get a second place finish here. Smoke! Smoke! Tony Stewart wins it. Haley Deegan second. Give it up. Yeah. Now that Haley Deegan finished second, I really wish Tony did a Mark Martin and pulled off 1 lap early. Smoke. Remember that shit on Family Guy? Smoke. Smoke. Are you smoking yet?
Tony with 11 victories here at Knoxville as a team owner. This is his first as a driver.
I was thinking how many hundreds of wins.
Hey, Tony Stewart won. My prediction was correct. Too bad I don't win any money.
Stewart comes out on top. We'll talk to him in just a minute.
Well, I hate to cut this short, and usually I'd hang around for post-race interviews, but I'm really sick. I got a headache, and I got to get ready to stream the Cup race tomorrow. So I think I'm going to call it a night and go to bed. But if you had fun, or for whatever reason enjoyed this today, subscribe, come back tomorrow. If you like NASCAR, come back tomorrow. Come back every week. We do this every week unless I'm at the race. So you guys have a good night. Tony Stewart wins. Please, God, let me feel better tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Until we meet again.